Hi guys, my name's Kinsey Schofield and I'm with The Nocturnal and I loved this freaking movie. I loved it so much. I was actually sad that my fiance wasn't here because we went through the whole pandemic together and I was like, you and I have to watch this movie together. I needed somebody to talk to after it. Did you know how special it was when you got the script and you saw it? Did you realize that you were going to have these kinds of reactions?
I think so. I mean, I hope so. You know, as soon as I read it, I wanted to do it, and like immediately wanted to do it, and I felt like that all the way through it, and I felt like that when I watched it go out, and so yes.
I love hearing that. One of my favorite jokes is when you I think it's James too, kind of making fun of the people online that have developed all of these new skills during the pandemic. They're learning to cook or they're learning to sew, and I totally related to that because I'm looking at all of these adults that are like learning choreographed dances on TikTok, feeling like really like poorly about myself. Are there any skills that you developed, either one of you, that developed while you were in quarantine? Did you learn to cook? Did you learn to sew? Anything like that?
I learned how to host a Zoom quiz with 20 odd friends multiple times, which then became something that nobody wanted to do, and nobody ever got back to me whenever I invited them to my Zoom quiz. I know. My weekly Zoom. Go. What?
I learned how to make a martini, like a good martini.
Any top tip? What is the one top tip for making a good martini?
Well, you need really, really good, well, either gin or vodka, and then you need really good, what's the, I've forgotten already.
Vermouth?
You need really good vermouth. It's all about, and of course it's like the length of time you shake it for. Don't be lazy about the shake. Because, you know, the right level of chill and the right level of dilution. And yeah, that's it. Just very good vodka and vermouth and get the chill in there.
I did notice that my alcohol consumption slightly increased at the beginning of everything. I am not a drinker. And at the beginning of the quarantine, I was like, I think it's time to become a drinker. So while I might not make the best martini, I definitely consumed plenty at the beginning of quarantine.
You were doing your bit.
Yeah, it's absolutely. This was so raw and like real. Was there any concern on either one of your parts that it was too soon?
Not on my part. I think people are quite often afraid of, I think by nature of the fact that there's hardly anything made about the pandemic, and yet we're making more film and TV than ever before. It sort of speaks to the fact that we're scared of talking about something that we're going through, that everybody's having such a hard time about. And yet we haven't really had the opportunity to test the audiences of the world out on whether they actually do want to see this kind of stuff at all, because there's been about 2.5 things made and we're one of them. So it felt like a privilege to be a part of a production that was about what was happening in the moment. But I think when something is as well written as this, it doesn't matter when you're doing it, whether it's the right time, the wrong time. If you sit down and you're compelled when you read it, and you sit down and you're compelled when you watch it, then it's the right time. I think we don't only need to examine things after the event. Sometimes we need to have ourselves represented going through something as well, and that's something that we need as human beings.
Yeah, I think that's what was so bold about it, really, you know, because that it did feel like news in a way, you know, because people weren't really taking it in the way that it needed to be taken in, and also sort of moved on from it very quickly once the vaccination started rolling out. So I don't think it was too soon at all. I think it was, you know, it absolutely needed to be said and said quickly.
Well, thank you for doing this film. I thought it was such a special, such a special movie, and I appreciate you sharing it with me, and I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Kinsey. Cheers.
Bye.